Yo, what is up, gang? So in this video, I'm going to be talking about a lot of my challenges that I faced with depression and anxiety, and going into a lot of details on these things, and just really opening up about my mental health in general. And I made a video about this before I get into this and stuff. I have it somewhat on my phone, so just bear with me because I have like a million thoughts going like a million miles per hour. It feels like a lot of the time. So just bear with me for a minute here while I kind of like clear up everything. But I posted something on my Instagram, I don't know, maybe like 8, 9, 10 months ago or something, opening up about my mental health a little bit. And that was true. I was dealing with something called depersonalization, derealization. And I'm not going to be going into depth about that specifically in this video. I'm going to be more so talking about all of the complications that it caused me and the problems that I faced because of it, and a lot of other factors that may have been involved with experiencing these things. So I'm just going to get right into it. So I experienced that in 2021 when I got taken out of school for it. I had to leave. I had to go back home, and I couldn't be there because I was suicidal, and I didn't really like talk about it. I didn't really open up to my family, even express that. And thank God my ex at the time was there for me and was able to support me through that time. And I did have a lot of other supporters, my family as well too, even though they don't really know much about mental health. And I totally understand it's hard for people to understand, especially if it's not something that you've ever experienced. That pain is really, really hard to understand. So I was dealing with that in 2021, and it caused me to leave school. It caused me to drop everything that I was doing, and I couldn't be on Instagram anymore. I couldn't post. I had just gotten sponsored by Young LA like right before that time, and I knew that I was like, not really going to be able to do much with it, and that I was, definitely going to lose the sponsorship. And I mean, I wasn't like worried about that or whatever. I mean, I guess I was a bit upset during that time because like I wanted to pursue Instagram. I wanted to do better. And this was like kind of the period of time when I was taking off on Instagram a little bit more. I was gaining a lot more traction. I was getting a lot more views, getting a lot more followers and stuff. And I was really excited about that year. I was really excited about school in general. I was just excited for everything because it was just all so new to me, right? And this is just a young college kid just getting into school and, loves the gym. I was so passionate about that. And all I wanted to do was do bodybuilding, honestly. I just wanted to do bodybuilding. Like, I really didn't want to I did want to go to school, but I really just wanted to study everything that was involved with bodybuilding. And I was so passionate about that. And I just loved all of that. And I met some cool people along the way. A dude that actually probably really, really helped me with this process as well too. And I had to be taken out of school, and that was just a huge challenge for me. And that happened for a long time. That was for I was in that state for a long time. And fast forward, I'm not going to go through my whole timeline because this is going to just be a crazy long video if I do. And I can definitely talk about some of those things in like maybe a future video that would be longer. I just want to try to keep this one more to the point with everything that that I wanted to talk about on my phone, my other phone here. So fast forward a bit, I kind of like, I got on pharmaceutical medications, and I was on Prozac. I was on Lamotrigine. For those of you that don't know, Prozac is an anxiety medication. It's an SSRI. And I was also on a mood stabilizer called Lamotrigine, which I was thinking at the time that they might have been suspecting at the time that I might have had bipolar disorder. I don't really know. I don't have that. I don't think I have that at all. I think what I was suffering from was a bit different than that. And I don't really know what it's called. I don't know what it's called. I'm just going to get into it. But I was on those medications though. And I was on those medications for about a year. And honestly, I'm going to be totally upfront about this because I did not see anything change within me when I was on Prozac, and I did see some changes within my mood when I was on the Lamotrigine. I actually kind of felt a bit better, but these all just kind of felt like it was just numbing to me, and I didn't feel like I was really it was really much help at all, to be honest. So yeah, that's when I was also starting meditations during that time, and I remember my first meditation was so like just such a good vibe, you know. And I was kind of just playing around with this idea of headspace meditations, and you know, my mom opened this idea up to me because she thought it could be helpful. So I was like, okay, whatever, I'm gonna just do whatever these people were telling me to do, because honestly, like, the place that I was in was truly terrifying. It was absolutely like insanely terrifying. You know, the amount of the thoughts that I was experiencing, like the deep dark, like the super dark thoughts that I was experiencing, and the pain that I just was feeling internally from it. It was like almost like it was a physical pain as well within my body. Like, oh my gosh, it's like, I don't know. I'll include some images here of, I can't really like describe it with words. I'm just gonna include some images while I'm talking right now to help like kind of explain what it kind of felt like while I was going through this, because I can't really like describe it in words. It was really terrible. And then I got into the meditations, and I felt a little bit better from doing those. Like, you know, I felt actually like that was the first time I felt calm in months. It was the first time I felt some type of peace within me in months. And I started that like probably, I don't know, 4 or so months after the period of when I had to get taken out of school, and when I just like couldn't do things on my own anymore, and it was just really terrible. And it was a lot for me to deal with. Anyways, though, I'm gonna fast forward quite a bit more to the point when I got off medications. But before that, I was running into a lot of life challenges. There was a lot of things that I was facing at that time, and I was back to the same spot pretty much. And this was like about the time that I was about to get off of those medications, right before I got off the medications and stuff. And I knew everything was just like not where I wanted it to be in life. I just was like a complete mess with everything. And I was going through a big move, a big transition in my life. And then I saw this video by you guys may or may not know him, a spiritual teacher, I would say, or I don't know what you would refer to this guy as. I mean, he's a scientist, he's an author, he's an amazing guy. And I saw this video of this guy named Dr. Joe Dispenza. This was in 2023, and he was talking about energy, and he was talking about a liberation of energy from the body after you take your attention off of everything known in your environment. And this really opened up something within me, because I had nothing going on for me at this time at all. It was a complete mess. I was kind of just like, I was contemplating suicide a lot heavily at this time, and I really just had nothing at all. Like, felt like, I mean, I obviously had my family and stuff, and you know, everyone was still like, you know, being so supportive of me, and I'm so appreciative of that to this day. But it was just in such a dark spot too, and it was really hard for me to open up to anybody at all, because I just felt completely like alone during this time. Sorry. And I didn't know how to deal with the challenges in my life at all, and I lost a lot of people because of the person that I was, and just challenges that I was facing. And so I got back into my meditations again after taking a break from them, and after I was seeing this video. And I would go outside every single day, and I would just lay in the grass, and I would put a towel out, and I would have my my headphones and stuff, and I would just sit down and lay down every day, and I would do my meditations, and this was the only thing I felt like that could help me. So sorry, give me a second. So I gave it a chance, and 3 to 4, I think it was like maybe 2 to 3 months later, I can't remember the time frame, it's so hard to tell the time, about probably 8 weeks, I don't know, 8 weeks give or take, I had this insane experience in my meditation, and it I mean, it was amazing. I felt so so whole, and I just felt so happy. I was so happy, and I had no anxiety in me anymore. I was completely just changed. I don't know how to explain it. What happened? It was just it was exactly like what the dude talked about in the video, Dr. Joe, and he was explaining this liberation of energy and stuff. And I was kind of I was doing a lot of research on things during this time, about healing frequencies and different modalities, and I was just trying everything because I was just fuck, dude, what else am I gonna do? I'm gonna die if I don't do something about this. And I just had nothing else to do. I would skip my classes, and I would just lay out in the grass, and I would just meditate. And it started with just 20 minutes a day, and it led to me doing, sometimes an hour or 3 hours. I don't know. I would lose track of time and everything around me because of these meditations and stuff. So, I was just suffering so much inside, so I just would go out and do this, and I had that experience, and the feeling that I felt my body, I mean, it was incredible. I've never felt anything like that. I never felt anything like that in my entire life. It was so I don't know, it was just healing, it had healed me from my anxiety, my depression. I went back home, I got up from that meditation, and I just knew that everything was gonna be okay. And that was a feeling that I had never felt for, I don't even know how long. I don't even know how long it was, but I'd never felt that feeling before. And it was just insane. I went back home, and my buddy Kim, he's making fun of me. He's like, yo, did you he was making a joke about me releasing, and I was like, no, I just did a meditation, and it just changed me. I was so happy because he was asking, because I just looked like I was a different person. I felt happier. Before I would just hide in my room, and it was so hard. I would just try to avoid everybody at all costs because of the anxiety that I was feeling. And it was bad. So that was in 2023, and it's 2026 now, right? So there's a lot that's happened since then. I fell off the meditations again, and I started spiraling again, and I was suffering from a lot of financial problems and stuff. And I'll fast forward to just wrap up this video, but I think because in my last video I talked about problems that I faced within my business, and it was really problems that I had internally that showed up in my business, right? Me lacking the ability to be able to express myself authentically, because I was dealing with this idea of trying to perform for I don't fucking know what reason. I mean, I know what reason it's for. It's like a survival mechanism, and I'm sure I'll break it down in another video of how this happens, and the patterns and triggers to look for, and how you can start to overcome this. And I'm definitely going to talk about all of this shit in another video. In all of my content, honestly, is going to be related to this. So much of my content, I love fitness and stuff, and I'm definitely going to talk about fitness still too, but this is you know, if you're caught up in your survival emotions, like fear and anxiety and dealing with depression and just burnout and all of this other shit, like, you know, the gym is cool and it's helpful for that shit, but it's like, I only got so far with the gym. It wasn't enough for me to be able to just manage my emotions, you know. And the pharmaceutical medications, they weren't helpful either. They just got me into a place where I was just felt like I was numb and I had no connection to myself anymore at all. And I had just I didn't feel like I couldn't even connect to anybody at all. I just felt like, I don't even know, it was just numb, you know. I don't know what else to say. Yeah, so I've been gaining awareness on a lot of my problems over these past fucking 5 years that I've been, you know, struggling with things like this. I think what I was experiencing was this thing called like ADHD burnout, and I'm still like, you know, trying to mentally wrap my head around these things. I'm not like trying to make any excuses by any means at all. I'm trying to do my best to figure out what it is that is going on so that I can start moving through it in the best way possible. And that's why my content is going to be related towards a lot of this, you know, for people that deal with these types of challenges. And I know how challenging it can be. So, but I think that what happened was I developed something called a neurotic personality, a psychoneurotic personality, which I'm just gonna break it down really quickly so we can just get through this video, bro. So, you know, I had a lot of anxiety. I would worry. I had horrible panic attacks, and it was like, not like I was like screaming, you know, like it wasn't like a physical thing. It was all internal, and I would just hold all of those emotions inside of me to the point where I don't know, I was about to crash out, bro, so many times. That was terrible though. And dude, I would just get up, like I'd have these hyperactivity, just getting upset over the smallest things. You know, it would be the smallest little thing, the smallest like little problem that I'd be dealing with. But I would just, if like I made a mistake, like I talked about in my last video, and I would just identify with it so hard to the point where it became a part of me. It was my identity. I was just so upset by the littlest problems that would happen, or the things that I wasn't able to show up for, that I caused problems in my life, and it caused me to develop distrust, because I had all of these ideas that I wanted to like do something with, but because I wanted to do everything, and I just was so confused on what to start on, what to do, I just did nothing like a lot of the time, which caused anxiety so much so that it got like so bad to where I was depressed again. And I'm sorry, I'm just trying to break down all these things, you know. And you know, then I was, you know, go back to the performance anxiety that I was dealing with in that video, or I mean in my videos. It was just like, I don't know how to explain that to people. How do you explain that to somebody that probably doesn't make content, right? I mean, social settings, I guess. We'll just talk about that. For people that have social anxiety, this is huge. Like, there's a pattern of us avoiding, social settings because we don't feel safe in the environment. And that's a nervous system regulation challenge right there. And it's something that you just don't feel safe to show up for. And, you know, I experienced that within content. And, you know, I would not post, or I would post something and then I would be like, oh, what the fuck did I just post? I just look so stupid there. And then I was like getting so caught up in my head and overthinking everything. It was fucking terrible, bro. Hold on, give me a second. Yeah, honestly, you know, that all just left me to feeling, I just wrote down, left me to feeling hopeless, worthless, and then, you know, caused me to fall back into this doom cycle is what I call it. you know, when you're caught up in your thinking and your feeling and your thinking and your feeling and your thinking and your feeling, and you're just thinking and feeling the exact same way, and you'll have a thought that pulls you in and it creates that feeling inside of your body, and then because you feel that way, you create another thought. It's just a fucking loop, right? And I'm going to be talking about how you can actually break this pattern and how I've been doing it and managing it as best as I possibly can. So yeah, that caused me to have a lot of challenges last year. And I mean, fuck, I think that's pretty much it. But I'm gonna be probably talking in really different, because this is already like 21 minutes long. I don't even know who the fuck is even gonna watch this shit, to be honest, bro. But I'm gonna be talking a lot in my other videos about how I've been working through these, how I've been trying to manage them, best practices. This is all gonna be within my content. And yeah, it is very helpful. Like, you know, like I said, the meditation's absolute game changer. You know, I just gotta continue to stay consistent with those. It's so crucial. I think meditation has been one of the biggest things that have helped me so much though through this process. And, you know, assuming that I stay consistent and I just do my meditations every single day, you know, like, I feel so much better when I do that. So I'll be talking a lot about this and how I managed to stay, I guess, on like top of my emotions and regulate myself without pharmaceutical medications. I don't want to take pharmaceutical medications, and no shame to anybody that does. Absolutely no shame. Some people, I know it works really well for them, and some people, you know, it doesn't. So, you know, that's awesome if it works really well for you. I just personally don't want to do that. That's pretty much it for this video. I'm gonna be breaking down a lot about this in my content, my future content. So if you are interested in any of this stuff at all, if you made it to this far in the video, you know, fuck yeah, let's go. And yeah, I guess I hope you have a great weekend. And, you know, I really appreciate the support that's been coming to my through my DMs and stuff. And God, you guys are fucking wonderful. You know, like the things people say, like, you just don't know. You don't know what people are going through. And I communicated a bit of that, and then just to see the feedback it's fucking amazing. And I'm so happy that I have people like you guys, and its support is so huge. Community is so huge. And yeah, just fucking thank you. All right, I would get off of here. I love you. I'll see you in the next one, okay?